And this is my instant match reaction to the Rangers 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1 game. And I have to say, overall, after the first half of that, that is a brilliantly earned point from Tottenham Hotspur. I will do a full kind of match analysis as to what happened throughout the game. However, the changes that Ange Postecoglou made around 60 minutes were the absolute key to Tottenham getting any kind of result in that game. It really, really was. Without those changes, without the legs that came on, without Bergvall, without Sarr, without Solanke, Tottenham would not have got anything from that match. And they would be, again, even though we didn't get a win, everybody would just be absolutely at Ange's throat. And in the end, at a horrible, horrible tie in a horrible atmosphere at Rangers in their Battle of Britain, Tottenham found a way to get an important draw. The equaliser was scored by Deki Kulusevski after some lovely play between himself and Dominic Solanke and a good dummy from James Maddison. And then in that second half, Spurs could maybe have won it, but Rangers could also have won it as well. And you just have to accept that a draw is probably as good as we could have done in a game like that. But going back to the beginning of it, and I have to give you a caveat here, my stream was buffering throughout. So there's a chance that I will miss out on some of the stuff that happened in that game. However, in the first 5 minutes, I felt it was a bit of a slow start. There was a tempo brought to the game from Rangers. The crowd were up, but Spurs didn't really have a lot of the ball in terms of making chances. Then in the 8th minute, Timo Werner, who started this game but was brought off at halftime after what can best be described as a really woeful performance. He did get in down the left and had a shot over the bar. The ball was laid off to him. He hit it first time over the bar, really didn't make Butland work, and Butland would have had it covered had it been under the bar. He was trying to bend it into the far left-hand corner. It was really just showing Deki Kulusevski there. It was Kulusevski who really also, having come on in the second half, really dragged Spurs as well to a result there. And then in the 9th minute, the first important save of many from Fraser Forster, who had another 9 out of 10 game for Tottenham Hotspur. He tipped it over the bar. Maddison got to the byline in the 11th minute, cut it back for Son Heung-min, didn't get enough on it, and Butland made a save pretty easily. In the 19th minute, Diamonde was booked for a blatant handball for Rangers. 20th minute, Spurs again got to the byline on the left, the cross just over Sonny's head, and I did wonder, had Dominic Solanke been playing at that point, perhaps we would have scored a goal there. Archie Gray was playing at centre-half for Spurs. He got a good block on a shot out for a corner in the 22nd minute. I think overall Archie Gray did okay. He was asked to play a lot of difficult balls. He was asked to be brave on the football. But in terms of his defensive display, in terms of his heading, in terms of his stuff with Radu Dragusin, I thought they both played outstandingly. And Ange Postecoglou, they're giving Radu Dragusin a good hug as they come off the pitch. Dragusin was good defensively, pretty poor on the ball, made some bad passes, but he's been asked to do things that he's not comfortable with at the moment. In the 24th minute, Spurs won the ball high. Sonny tried to cross it to Johnson. It was a classic situation where Johnson was nearly in at the back post, but Sonny didn't put enough on the cross, and the defender managed to get it away. Another good save from Fraser Forster in the 25th minute, down to his right, held it, and then straight away from giving the ball away, Spurs from Fraser Forster's hold, Rangers nearly scored as the ball came across the box from the left and nobody could come in and finish it. Timo Werner in the 28th minute got in down the left and let the ball go under his foot when he had a great chance to transition and break at Rangers. And I think that is what happened there will have decided for Big Ange Postecoglou that he had to come off. He really disappointed again, Timo Werner. 38th minute, a good save from Jack Butland from Brennan Johnson as he came in from an outside to in run and got a connection on it. He would have been offside anyway, but it was a good save from Jack Butland. Good play in central midfield in the 40th minute between Pedro Porro and Rodrigo Bentancur. Across from Bentancur, but Sonny wasn't there. Neither was Timo Werner. Then another chance for a cross nearly went in with Sonny getting a touch at the far post. In terms of overall, in that first half, it really was a basketball game. The whole game was really transition to transition. And actually, in the 45th minute, Fraser Forster made another huge save with his feet. Into the second half, and straight away, the last thing you want to happen happened. 1-0 to Rangers in the 46th minute. It was so easy. Brennan Johnson was running through Treacle, trying to defend, trying to get back. And there was an easy ball played over the top to where Pedro Porro was not defending the back post. And it was Igamane who scored with a left foot volley and into the bottom right-hand corner. And at that point, I said, and I believed it, that because of the atmosphere, because of the poor performance from Spurs, that I could easily see it being 3 or 4-0 to Rangers. But in the next few minutes, Cherney had a shot saved by Forster at the near post. Cherney then beat 4 men in the box and had a shot blocked. It was very similar to what happened against Chelsea when we just let Cole Palmer run us ragged in the box. Poor defending. And we had to really have our backs to the wall then. Big chance for the back post for Johnson, though, over and wide in the 53rd minute. He hit it first time, tries to wrap his foot around it into the far left-hand corner, but hit it over the bar. In the 56th minute, a good corner routine from Rangers, saved at the striker's feet from Fraser Forster. And then a shot quickly came in from outside the box after, deflected wide from Radu Dragusin. Great defending from him. Then the key part of this game, 60th minute. Bergvall, Solanke and Sarr came on for Johnson, Bentancur and Basuma. Deki Kulusevski had already been brought on at half-time. Straight away, Bergvall volleyed just wide from outside the box from a breaking corner. Then a free kick one outside the box by Maddison in the 63rd minute over the bar after he tried a short one off the training ground. Dragusin was booked in the 67th minute for a transition foul. In the 71st minute, Deki lost 2 50-50s in a row. And at that point, I was getting angry at how Spurs weren't strong enough in their 50-50s. And Bergvall was booked absolutely ridiculously by the referee in that 71st minute. He broke through the middle, showing real bravery, plays the ball off with the outside of his boot. And as the Rangers player comes in and takes his foot away, the referee books Bergvall. But then the 74th minute and the Deki Kulusevski goal. Beautiful play down the right between Solanke and Deki. Solanke cuts it back. Madder's dummy and was taken out. Could have been a penalty. But Kulusevski follows up his run, finishes it into the bottom right-hand corner. In the 82nd minute, could have been 2-1 Spurs. Beautiful headed 1-2 between Kulusevski and Solanke, the two subs, and Dom's volley was blocked well. 85th minute, a huge save, a match-saving game from Fraser Forster as Rangers got through one-on-one. They're 8 yards out, maybe even 7 yards out, and Forster makes himself huge and gets a deflection wide. Then in the 86th minute, good 18-yard line defending from Spurs as Rangers got in and scored a disallowed goal, but the VAR confirmed that Tottenham had caught them offside. Bergvall was then nearly and maybe should have been sent off in the 87th minute with a late foul from his own bad pass, but the referee decided against it. And I think he decided against it because he knew that he hadn't done the right thing in booking Bergvall for the first booking. So that is why Bergvall stayed on the pitch. Then in the 90th minute, Solanke had a chance from a few yards out, a header from a Madders cross, but there was no pace on it, and Solanke couldn't get enough on it. 3 added minutes of time, but Tottenham couldn't do anything with it. How do I feel about that? Tottenham are still in 9th place in that Europa League group, just behind Rangers. We now have 2 games, don't we? It's the Swedish team, whose name I cannot remember right now, and then it's Hoffenheim away. I think in January we have the Swedish team first. 2 wins, I'm pretty sure, would get us in the top 8. We don't play in this tournament now until January, like I said. So could we have some men back from this injury crisis by then? I think that point will prove to be absolutely huge at Ibrox. And I think Ange can take some credit and some quality for the way that we turned that game around in the second half and looked like we might nick it. Of course, we could easily have lost the game as well. And the first half performance was absolutely diabolical. That is to say the least. But in the end, you go to Ibrox and Galatasaray, you're going to lose one of those games. We lost in Turkey, but we didn't lose here. And it just shows, I think, we've got to put more, we've got to give more chances to Bergvall, I think. He's getting better. He's growing into it. And just when we brought those players on, Bergvall and Sarr, we suddenly had more options in central midfield. And that's what we need. In the first half, everything was too easy for Rangers. It was like the Chelsea game again, where they had so much space in central midfield. But in the second half, and maybe Rangers dropped off a bit, maybe they got a little bit leggy. But in that second half, certainly in the second half of the second half, we looked dangerous again. And it once again shows how badly we need Dominic Solanke. And he is now right at the top of the list of players we cannot afford to get injured. We just can't, because Sonny, bless him, what an absolute servant he's been for this club, but he is not a number 9 for Tottenham Hotspur anymore. The ball bounces off him. He can't hold it up, and his finishing has dropped off in the past few games as well. So we need Solanke to be wrapped in cotton wool. We need him against Southampton at the weekend. And listen, if you think we're going to roll over Southampton, think back to that Ipswich game. It will not be easy. It will not be easy. No Premier League games are. When Southampton are losing their games, and they've only got 5 points, but they're only losing by the odd goal in the most part. And they will come to Spurs. They will enjoy their day out at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Tottenham need to take this confidence from the second half performance today and find a way to go to that Southampton game and shut the critics up. Get a few goals early. Find a way to win, and the first 3 points for a long time in the Premier League. So my overall feeling after that game, it's a good point for Spurs. A diabolical first half, turned around well in the second half, and his game management can be given some credit, I think, and he's been getting a lot of stick for that recently. And let's just face it, any point at this point is good in terms of not losing games after that Bournemouth game, after the Chelsea game, and I will take it. That has been my instant match reaction, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do give the video a like. Press subscribe if you haven't already.